Joining us now on the Mason Crosby Show on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law, Dominique Yates from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, the multimedia extraordinaire reporter for our Green Bay Packers. Dominique, thanks so much for jumping on today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
What's up?
You bet. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, we were talking before the 1 o'clock hour on the differences because, we've added new networks to the Wisconsin Sport Network, and we're in some different locations. Have you ever been up to Duluth, Superior?
Honestly, I have no clue what that is. I'm still new.
You got to go see that huge lake up there. I mean, it's awesome.
Hey, road trip. Let's go.
Road trip it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm still the new guy. I'm still learning Wisconsin. I'm still learning how to say Wisconsin cities on top of that.
Exactly.
So I'm still starting from scratch, really.
Exactly. Well, Tommy can help you. He's from Cudahy, which I'm sure you didn't know that's how that was pronounced whenever you first got here.
I can tell that Dom is not from Wisconsin based on how he says Wisconsin, even.
Which is okay.
I understand why everyone else says it wrong, but it's totally cool. Dom.
It's Wisconsin. It's right, it's Wisconsin.
Let's jump into some ball here, Dom. And I really appreciate you jumping on. I did just see something, and I got to ask you this, from my background playing there in Green Bay, being a kicker in the NFL for a long time. What did you think? I just saw LaFleur's comments about when he was asked about Brandon McManus and his health and how he's doing. And then he made a weird comment about, I don't talk to kickers.
Right.
Did you see that? What was that about? And what's kind of your thought on how this week has gone and what this team is looking like for the weekend against the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, I think he was joking a little bit when he said that, because even, when the initial injury happened with McManus, he said they were in conversation. And it even kind of goes back to the whole funny story of LaFleur saying it was a major concern. McManus followed it up with, I don't think he read his thesaurus going into it. So I'm pretty sure they do talk and they try to get a feel for how, he's feeling throughout practice and going into the week. But other than that, I think that the energy has been in a good place, and that's really all you can ask for after having a big win against the Steelers. And you have a Monday night game around the corner with the Philadelphia Eagles. So, there's been a lot made about a trap game or having a letdown game, and I just don't really get the sense that's going to be the case with this team.
Yeah, Dom, I want to interrupt there because I did a whole topic on this yesterday. Is trap game our fault? It's the media's fault, right? I feel like fans are they're on a week-to-week basis and they're not looking down the road, and it feels like it is totally our fault that trap games happen.
Couldn't disagree more.
What? No, I agree with you, Tommy. Yeah,
fans are always you're telling me fans aren't looking ahead to Philly?
No, fans and media, not the players.
I think Tommy said that media and that fans aren't.
Yeah, 100%. Dominique, you can tie it up if you want right here.
Tie it up. Where are we at, Dominic?
What bro?
I do think it's more of a media narrative in the fans, and I think they get more caught up into it. But I do think, especially with this Packers team,
you guys aren't fans anymore. You guys are just media. You guys are just media hacks. That's all you guys are.
Exactly.
Come back to the bright side.
I'll say with these Packers, I think if there was a such thing as a trap game or letdown game, they already learned their lesson in week 3 against the Browns. So that's why I'm just not buying any of that this week.
Yeah, I also look at this Carolina Panthers team. They are very inconsistent. They've had some sparks, but they don't have one part. Maybe their run game they can lean on, which I feel really good about the Packers defense against anyone's run game. But, the Browns had an excellent defense, right? So it was there was something there. I'm not sure Carolina comes into Lambeau Field with something that it's just oh my gosh, this could go bad if we don't take care of business. This is one of those games that you should handle pretty handily and not have any issues with. So on that injury front, I brought up McManus at first. How is the injury report looking? Are there any expectations of any guys coming back? Is there anyone new on that report or anything that we should look at for this week, or is everything pretty much status quo up there?
Honestly, health-wise, they're in a pretty good spot. For the second straight day of practice, there's only 3 guys that have been out. Dontavian Wicks with the calf injury. He obviously missed last game. Nick Neiman, linebacker, and a huge piece to the special teams. He dropped in that Steelers game with the pec injury, and he hasn't practiced. And then Lucas Van Ness, he had the foot injury in Cincinnati, and he hasn't played the past couple of games. So those are really the only 3 guys Matt LaFleur said Van Ness is kind of day-to-day. For the others, he's not, too sure right now. So at this point, those are really the only three guys that are out. But Zach Tom has been in practice. I know he dropped out, a play in Pittsburgh. Everybody, Devontae Wyatt, came out of that game healthy. So overall, they're in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, it was really good having Devontae Wyatt back on the field. Like you could feel his presence and his energy. Like he is he's like an energy guy. Like I feel like he kind of brings that defense to where they need to be and lets everybody else just kind of work around him. So really good seeing him back there as well. I do want to kind of shift some focus. We talked about the World Series at the beginning, and I don't know if this is where the guys were thinking I was going to go here, but you watch a lot of Brewers, games this year. Like obviously are well versed in that space. What have you thought of this World Series so far, and which team are you kind of maybe rooting against or rooting for, in this World Series this year?
I'm always a big underdog guy, so I like to see the Blue Jays. I think it's cool what they're doing. I think it's been more than 30 years since they've won a championship, so I think that's always really cool to see. And I like seeing dynasties as well. So obviously what the Dodgers have done is great, but I like to see when the new blood kind of can come in and make things interesting. So they got to do one more, and you get it at home. So we'll see what happens in this next game, because I don't think you want to try to play one more with this Dodgers team. I don't think you need to play around. I think you need to try to end it now while you can.
I think he's right, Mace, because I think, you get to game 7 and you get Shohei pitching coming out of the bullpen. Like, I think that just gets in your head if you're the Blue Jays.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I agree. We got Dominique Yates joining the Mason Crosby Show. He's from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and you can find him at Real D Yates on X or Twitter, whichever you prescribe to there.
Is there a fake D Yates?
No.
No, I was going to say.
That was me being an idiot in college. I thought
that's the old college Twitter.
But you should create that also as like your alter ego who says all the things you want to say, but you're not allowed to say because you're in the media. That the fake D8s just goes off on people and just like destroys people all the time. Like people who are like, I think, that actually caught fire when Twitter first started. It was like, I remember like the not SVP, like the fake Scott Van Pelt and like stuff. There were a lot of like fake accounts of like that were really those people or,
I can barely keep up with my main Twitter account. So I don't know if I could run a burner properly.
So I saw on Twitter you had some time with a Panthers reporter this week, and like how from like that kind of eye on the enemy perspective, how are they feel? 4-4, they got to feel pretty good, but they've beat bad teams. I mean, I know they beat the Falcons, but they've gotten I don't think they got beat pretty bad by the Patriots, obviously by the Bills this week. Like what is their outlook as a 4-4 team at this point?
Well, they're pretty much right on pace to where they were last year. So in that regard, at this point in the season, they're feeling better compared to where they have been. The thing that it boils down to with them, if they don't have Bryce Young, they won't have a chance in any game that they play, because you saw the Bills game with Andy Dalton. It was I asked the reporter about that. The first thing he said was yikes when I asked him about Andy Dalton with that offense. So like I said, they feel good. Like I said, they're confident, they're optimistic. They've already kind of taken a positive step compared they have been in previous years, but it's all going to be based on how healthy Bryce Young is. But they do have some guys. Rico Dwindle is a good running back. They have some guys that can play football, but as a full team, it's still kind of a wait and see process with them.
Nice. So what through 7 games here with this Packers team, like before the season started, before the Micah Parsons trade, all of the stuff that happened, what was your prediction, for this season? Have they matched, exceeded, or where are they at kind of in your mind? And what is kind of your outlook and your hope for this team moving forward?
I think going into the year, before Parsons, before anything, I was always bullish on this team. I knew they were still a young team that had been in the playoffs, and they were with every team that they played last season in those losses with the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings. And so I always felt they had a chance to take that next step and beat some of those teams. Then throw in Micah, and you see the immediate impact that he made and just how guys around him have stepped up and played. And Jordan Love has been terrific. So Yeah, my opinions haven't changed. I always thought they would have a chance to be in that NFC championship game, or at least get close to it. And after what I've seen through these last 8 weeks or so, my opinion hasn't changed.
Awesome. And I know you got to get out of here at about 15. I do want to jump into this. We talked a little bit about the Bucks versus Warriors tonight. Are you going to be watching? Are you going to be at the game? What's your plan? What do you think of this Bucks team? To start the season right here.
Honestly, for the last 2 weeks we've been on the road, so we went from Arizona to Pittsburgh. So I'm trying to get some sleep.
Right.
So I'll probably watch a little bit of the game and try to get a feel for just how they look. And if the game isn't interesting, I'm going to turn it off and go to bed. So that's kind of my thing. If I don't have to physically cover a game or watch it, I'll tune it out. That was even what I did with the game when it turned into a 5-1 score. I just put something on Netflix and was just watching a documentary. So it'll be interesting to see. I know everyone has talked about, Giannis and just everything that's kind of happened in the off season with him. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of like your average just basketball watcher. I'm curious how they'll look and how they play. And, at least they did have a, pretty promising start.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. Anything else, guys, before we have to let them go?
No, keep up the great work. We're following you on Twitter and all your content, and we'll definitely catch up with you down the road.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to stay out of trouble out here. I did have a little funny moment with LaFleur where I had a blooper, and he had a little fun with it. So.
How's Tucker Kraft's leadership, Dominique? Yeah, because he didn't address it, and then you asked about it, and then it was like, oh wait, he actually did.
Yeah, I learned my lesson. I always make sure you're listening, because I was multitasking, checking my camera, checking social media, trying to get some updates in. Someone had already asked him about Tucker Kraft's leadership.
We've all done it.
I love it.
He was a great sport about it, so that's all I can ask for. So hopefully that was my first and last blackout fine.
Yeah.
He said they're blackout fines if you're not paying attention. So that was my first and last one.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, Dom, thanks so much for jumping on. And like I said, we'll talk to you down the road, and keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, guys. I always appreciate it.